Hello, 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 everyone. I hope you're doing amazing. Happy to see you all here. So yeah, let's do a mic check and chat check. Say hi in the chat and tell me if you're able to hear me, properly. Let me quickly chat window. Hello, 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 people. Hello, amazing people. Hi. Okay. I see a lot of energy in the chat, which is amazing. We have almost 150 people right here, which is good. Perfect. Okay. So before we get started, I wanted to know where you folks are joining from. So can we have a quick mention in the chat where you folks are joining from? So if you're joining from a particular city, from a particular country, let me know. I'm personally joining from Mumbai, so I would love to know, where you folks are joining from as well. Let's see. Thane, Mumbai, Sri Lanka. Hey, I was in Sri Lanka actually, doing a tour. So that's nice to hear. Nice. Nepal. Your voice is low. My voice is low. Oh, is it? Let me try to fix that. Nepal, Bangalore, Nagpur. Amazing, amazing. I love all of you people joining from all different parts of India and abroad, which is super amazing. Nice. India, Bhubaneswar, voice is clear. Lucknow, nice. Okay. So just to make sure that I'm able to see your chat because I love interacting with you all, I'm gonna keep your chat on the right hand side so that as I'm presenting, I'm looking at your chat as well. Let me put this live. Oh, nice. Now I can see your chat. Perfect. Okay. So let's get started. The energy is flowing. Now, before we get started, can everyone give me a hi emoji in the chat? Um, Oh, Loki edits is John. Hey, Loki edits, don't try there in the chat. Man, say hi to me. I'm saying hi to you. Oh, why are you going after someone else? Okay. Um, buddy, do you get internet there? Okay, nice. You're from Sambhaji Nagar, which is nice. Okay, Uttar Pradesh. Perfect, perfect. What are you going to teach today? Give a wild guess what I'm going to teach today. Yeah, it's PS. It's very easy to guess. Okay, let me quickly share my screen. I see a very few high emojis. Why is that? Are you people shy? Is it? No. Hello, hello, hello. Oh yeah, absolutely. See, my energy depends on your energy. If you are sleepy, I'm sleepy. If you are energetic, I'm energetic, right? So it's vice versa. We all are going to give each other energy. Um, okay, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. We are here today to learn about generative AI with pieces. Today's session is a beginner-friendly session, so we are going to get started and we are going to learn about generative AI 101, which is basics of generative AI. I know that you all have been using a lot of Gen AI tools lately, so this session will dive a little bit deeper into understanding what these tools are, how these tools work, and a little bit of kind of history around generative AI. At the end, we will do a hands-on, and after that, you get an opportunity to win some awesome swags. I know a lot of you are here for swags, but a lot of you are here for certificates as well. So we are going to give you certificates if you complete the hands-on and fill out the form. So yeah, about myself, I'm Ali Mustafa. I work as a senior developer advocate at Pieces for Developers. Previously, I used to work for Postman. You might have actually seen a lot of me at around Postman. And I've thought about APIs almost for 4 years. And today, and from last few months, I've been teaching about generative AI as well. So that's about me. Yeah, Mom Sahil, I can tell you, you are here for swags. Don't worry, I was at the stage where I was, there for swag for a lot of time, but that phase is gone of me. Cool. Don't worry. You'll get an opportunity to kind of win some swags. 200 of you right now. Cool. I also have a TEDx talk, by the way, which I delivered when I was 21. I'm a little older now, but yeah, if you ever want some motivation, you can watch it. You can just Google my name, Ali Mustafa, and then add a TEDx in front of it, and you will find my TED talk. It's actually awesome. It covers my journey through machine learning and promoting Google crowdsource. When we were kind of doing a lot of community work for them back in the year 2017 to 2018 to 2019. So yeah, that's about me. Now, this is me clicking some photos. Don't worry, we all are joining virtually. So, I can't click photos with you, but definitely will click some screenshots if time permits. And you imagine these 200 people sitting in a room, that would be probably these halls full of people, right? And that's what you all are. So, yeah, uh, let's get started. Aryan says, I've heard your name somewhere. Bro, I've just said my name. Cool. So yeah, everyone who stays till the very end and does hands-on, there's a condition. You don't get certificate just for attending this workshop. You have to complete the hands-on to be able to get the certificate. So make sure that you are doing the hands-on with me. This session is divided into two parts. I'll do a lot of theory and then I'll cover a lot of hands-on. And I want you to do hands-on with me. Okay, so for that, you will have to install pieces and follow the installation instructions. You can see there's a pinned comment right there. So click on that, click on the link, and we should be absolutely good. By the way, if you like this, workshop and everything else, subscribe to the channel, hit a like. Helps Let's Upgrade to kind of promote this video at a lot of places. Um, cool. So yeah, now I have some special mentions of these Copilot with me, but to actually show you, I have some special pieces of Copilot with me. Where is that? Somewhere on my desk. My desk is a messy place. Hopefully, I should be able to get one. It was right here. Okay. Never mind. It looks exact. Oh, I got it. It looks exactly like this. So it's fun. You can actually win one of these. These are actually put in randomly in the swag packs. So yeah, participate in the swag giveaway challenge and you get a chance to win a smart, handsome Copilot wearing some sunglasses and some smart, beautiful t-shirts like these ones. So yeah, for that, it's very simple. You have to summarize whatever you're learning today, very, very simply. Now, for that, I'll take you to the document. Can you quickly go to the description or to the pinned comment and you will find a plain Notion page. So it will look something like this. So I'll explain quickly through this, document what you got to do beforehand so that when we start hands-on, you're not left behind. Make sense? Perfect. Okay. So now, the first things first, we need you to make sure that you download pieces so that we can do the hands-on with each other. And yeah, here, this is the, link to the page once again. So you can keep this bookmark so that you can come back to this later. We also have a Discord server where you can join and ask for doubts. It's an amazing community of AI enthusiasts. So, if you love to kind of look at, what is happening in the generative AI industry, I'll highly recommend that you join this Discord server. Now, here you can see the installation for Windows and Mac OS, but you can also kind of go ahead and install it for Linux and other operating systems. Now, if you ever face any installation problems, this is your form to fill. So yeah, go ahead and fill out this form in case, you are sure why is there a problem? Okay, now it's better. Cool. So yeah, that's about that. Make sure the installation is happening on the background as you're attending this session so that when we go hands-on, you're all in. Okay. Step number 2 is to complete the workshop. I'm here to complete it with you. So it's a 1 hour, 1.5 hour course. We should be on time. We started at 6:30. We'll finish absolutely by 8 o'clock. Okay. So yeah, make sure you're attending this workshop live with me. Now, obviously, you want a certificate and a digital badge. So for that, we are going to do the hands-on exercise, and then you can fill out the form for the certification. You can obviously connect with me on different platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Make sure if you're sending me a LinkedIn request, it mentions that you attended this workshop. Oh, this date is outdated. Don't worry about this because we are doing the workshop in February. So we are going to end this, probably in 2 weeks. Let's upgrade team will update the end date. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we are giving away this swag. So what you got to do is share what are you learning about with the hashtag Gen AI with pieces and tag Let's Upgrade and myself in the post. You can participate on Twitter or on LinkedIn or any other platform or actually both. So yeah, now go ahead, scroll through this document. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you have scouted through this document. Come on, be quick. By the way, where's the link to this document? We have spammed the link in the chat and it should be available with you right now. So yeah, go ahead quickly. I see one thumbs up. Pritesh is very quick. What about others, folks? See, your energy replicates my energy. You know how this works. Lakshmi Chauhan is here, which is nice. Okay, two more people. Loki. Oh wow. You have to defend the galaxy, brother. What are you doing here? Okay. Okay, we can see a lot more people out here, which is nice. Nice. Okay. So yeah, hopefully you have reviewed it. Get started with the installation. By the way, I really like this sticker sheet because it has so many cool stickers which you might want to put it on your laptop. And then this talk AI to me sounds a little dirty, but yeah, if you wear that in a conference, I would absolutely see people would kind of love to kind of see that T-shirt on you, right? So yeah, just to sum up what we mentioned, go to the pinned comment link, complete the installation steps. Go all the way down, look at the swag challenge if you want to participate in them. And yeah, we'll go from there. Nice. So why should we learn about generative AI though, right? Number one, it's absolutely big. Today you hear companies, for example, OpenAI secured over $10 billion in funding from Microsoft. Google, Amazon, all of them are kind of investing tons of money. Recently, if you know the investment about XAI, they got funded $6 billion. They literally set up their own data centers to kind of go ahead and build out, all of these GPUs and so on and so forth, right? So yeah, there's a lot of investment flowing in here, and if you are not going to upgrade, you're going to get replaced before even you go and get a job. So it's very, very important that you upgrade yourself and be AI ready when the industries are adapting artificial intelligence into their workflow. People are already losing their jobs, and you don't even have one there as now. So it's important that you learn about generative AI and not just learn about how to use it, but also understand behind the scenes so that you can add unique value and you can build solutions which can't be replicated. And especially for companies like Jasper, Canva, Pieces for developers who are actually working to make you skilled, enable you to kind of go and use these generative AI models out there. So yeah, that's the basic motivation. But when we come to generative AI, we often ask ourselves, what is AI? Can someone mention that to me? What do you think AI is? In very, very simple terms. Yeah. Okay, I see on chat someone says AI is artificial intelligence. Like I did not know, brother. Yes, AI is artificial intelligence, but what actually is AI? Now, how I like it to explain to others is by giving an example of a child. If you were a child when you were born in this world, did you know your name? Not really. Did you know how to speak English or Hindi or Marathi or German or French, any other language? Not really. But you knew one single language, right? And that language was crying loudly, crying softly, crying bonkers, and so on and so forth, right? So as AI, you can see that a human is naturally someone who is like literally intelligent being. And what we want to do with artificial intelligence is kind of put this intelligence into a machine which has RAM, which has CPU, which has GPU, and all of these storage systems. And now we put intelligence into these machines so that it can mimic human brain. So that is artificial intelligence. But there's also quite a lot of confusion about AGI. So what is AGI? What could be AGI? Artificial general intelligence. Now, a lot of people confuse AI with AGI. AGI, on the one hand, stands for something which is the end goal of AI, meaning that you are building a system which can literally be human, which can replace humans in terms of thinking, in terms of ability of humans to kind of develop AI itself, right? And that's what AGI represents. It represents, a dream for all of these world, that we are going to build a machine which is going to be more intelligent than us. So if you look today in your world, are machines more intelligent than you? Can they drive better than you? Absolutely. Can they play chess better than you? Absolutely. Can they segregate or apply their cognitive abilities to look at a particular item and find differences between them? Absolutely, they can do it better than us. What we can do better right now is think and develop these machines, but we have not yet achieved AGI because they cannot do everything, right? So they can either play chess really well or they can either drive car really well. They can't drive car and be on phone talking to someone. Not yet. But yeah, that's what we say when we say AGI. But then what is generative AI? Isn't that already AGI? Because, generative AI can think, or what, or that's what you have been told, or that's what you have been thinking. But we'll do a little bit more about what generative AI is and how it absolutely works. So I did not do a lot of effort. I went to Gemini 2.0, asked Google what is generative AI. And Google says generative AI is a category of artificial intelligence that generate new content. What kind of content? Text, images, audio, code. And what these content resembles is that they are the data or the patterns on the data they are trained on. Now, there's something which Gemini also says is that unlike discriminative AI, what does discriminative AI means? Yes, anyone. Discriminative AI. The word discriminative means it can it can identify differences, right? So when we kind of talk about discriminative AI, which we have always had, it's not new. Like something like self-driving cars. So it can look at signal, and for example, um, there's a red light. What do you do with your car? You stop, right? And then there's a yellow light. What do you do then? You drive as fast as you can so that you can not be stuck. A typical human behavior. But as an AI, obviously you slow down and you stop, right? And then green light, obviously you gotta go, so you are going to go on a green signal. So all of this is discriminative. What does that mean? It means that it can take decisions. It knows that these are the right decisions, these are the wrong decisions, and these decisions will basically have an impact, or on a good impact, a bad impact, and so on and so forth. So for example, classifying, predicting, and so on and so forth. But then generative AI is unlike discriminative AI, which makes it a little different. And even though Gen AI is a category of artificial intelligence, remember, generative AI is not a different field. Artificial intelligence is a field, and within them there are multiple branches. For example, if you're working with robotics, you can use AI in robotics. You can use AI to generate genes. You can use AI in a lot of things, right? So one such part is generative AI, and it's not a whole different field altogether, right? And then it ends the definition which says create novel outputs. What does novel means? Novel means something new. Okay, so does that means generative AI can think? We'll find out. Awesome. So we go ahead and we ask GPT-4o, hey GPT-4o, what is generative AI? And GPT says, again, it's a category of artificial intelligence designed to generate new content. What kind of content? Again, text, images, music, and so on. And then, unlike traditional AI, so you can see that both of these models, they emphasize on the word. that it's not traditional AI. It's different, it's not traditional AI. And again, what does it say? It says that instead of recognizing patterns and making prediction, generative AI creates new instances that resemble the training data. So if I have to summarize generative AI from these two definitions, the very first thing which is common is in both of these definitions. Yes, yes. What would be the very first thing which is common across both of these definitions? Anyone, anyone, anyone? Okay, I see some chats, which is nice. Generate new content. Okay, generate new content. What kind of content? What kind of content are we generating here? I would love to know that. All types of content. Oh, that's nice. Text, images, music, code, all of these kind of contents, right? But what, so obviously, are these new content? Like, when I say types of content, so do I mean these are like new original content? Probably not, maybe not, and so on and so forth, right? So let's say we say, yes, okay, they generate new content, not just content. Okay. Okay. Now, is it only limited to text, images, video, code? Not really. You can actually go ahead and you can generate 3D models. You can generate audio. You can generate, sounds of birds, not just music. You can go ahead and you can replicate, how Einstein would sound. Yes, you could do all of that. Nice. So this is what, if you look at all of these models, obviously, a lot of these kind of play a very important role. Now, if I go further inside of what background does the generative AI comes from, so we get something called as a transformer model. A transformer model which was introduced in 2017 by Wasani et al. It was revolutionary because it introduced a new mechanism. So earlier we used to use, RNNs, and in that it created a new mechanism which could induce self-attention mechanism. And in very simple words, if I say I am running, there are three words I'm using. I am running. Now I am running. If I just pick up running, what does that mean? Or if I put I, what does that mean? So earlier sentences were, they would not really be efficient because all of these would, if I want to translate, it would just literally translate back into what it means. It doesn't care what the sentence means. It would just translate word by word. And that's why, translation was difficult. It was not good. But with transformer model, that changed because now the word had a self-attention mechanism. It meant that the word could understand what it is referring to apart from zeros and ones, which was a progress. And in 2018, this progress got double down. And here, Google launched Birth. Now, Birth would do the same thing, but bi-directionally. So not just in one direction, it could understand, okay, when someone says, I am running, it means, okay, who is the person, where they are running. And, all of that would also be included apart from just understanding the word itself. Now, that sounds pretty cool, right? Because we have this algorithm which can be used. But yeah, these were not just the two algorithms, actually, but basis of the very first paper which was published, which was on basis of the transformer model, which was called GPT-1. And GPT-1 was fabulous as generating junk text because it obviously did not have a longer context. With Birth, we saw GPT-2, GPT-3, 3.5, 4, 4.0, and so on and so forth, which OpenAI came up with. But with subsequently, we saw Google, coming up with Gemini models, Gemma models, Facebook coming up with Llama models, and so on and so forth. So everyone started using these papers, applied their own knowledge, bring in their own research, and then went on to developing more algorithms. For example, GANs. GANs were pretty famous when we were students, especially myself. I still remember because I used to play around with GANs a lot more. And it was so much fun because there was two algorithms, each one of them competing with one another, and they were, generating patterns. They were kind of evaluating. The second algorithm was generating synthetic data. The first algorithm was evaluating that, and so on and so forth. And GANs, again, are still used and they're very popular. Then VAEs, which were, used to encode and decode data and create new samples. And then diffusion models, due to which you were able to went ahead and create images. Now, what are videos at the end of the day? Series of images. So if I say 21 frames per second or 24 frames per second, I mean there are 24 images per second in that particular video with an overlapping audio. But if I remove this video and convert it into 24 frames, then what does each frame represent? Yes. Now each frame represents pixels. Now these pixels are represented by value of 0 to 220, 0 to 255, meaning a total of 256 pixels you can use from, right? So yeah, if you could generate content, you could generate these pixels and you could generate images. And if you could generate images, you could generate videos. So yeah, that's how powerful models are today. Now, these are not just limited models which you see today. Every day, there are tons and tons of more models which come into the distribution, and you will actually find them very interesting if you are into the field of generative AI. Nice. Now, for all those who are like, okay, what is birth? What is self-attention mechanism? RNNs? All of these buzzwords which I'm trying to say. You all know who this is? Probably. I hope you all know this. Cabby, what he says, make it simple. But he doesn't say anything actually. He just, makes it simple. So I don't want to kind of go all in all about all of these algorithms when I can't explain you. So we're going to play a simple game, okay? What are we going to play? I'm going to show you a sentence. You're going to have 5 seconds. 5 seconds. You have to look at the sentence and give me what do you think as a next step. Okay? Fill in the blanks. Very simple. I'll give you a sentence. You have to fill in the blanks in that sentence. Sentence number 1 appears on the screen. How's the Josh? Quick, quick, quick. And the second sentence is dash din mein paise double. So that's Hindi. If anyone knows, then that's fine. But let's see. So Kaving says, hi, sir. Hi, sir. Anyone with a low Josh here? No one. Okay. Funny. Hi. Anyone with a medium Josh? Probably. No, no. Okay. What about dash din mein paise double? 25. Okay. Crick World says low Josh. Why are you on low Josh, Crick World? Because yesterday we won. So extreme Josh. Okay. एक दिन में पैसे double. Oh, Manoj, I'll send you some money. Please double it for me in one day. Medium Josh. Okay. 21. 21. Okay. What about others? 1, 10. हर दिन. Oh my God. Okay. Manohar, I need who's your investor. Who's Josh? Oh, nice. That's a question. Obviously, who's Josh? Okay. Next sentence. Avengers. Muskan is also getting her money doubled in 2 days, which is nice. Avengers assemble, disassemble, or if I were, a resident of Mars, and Avengers would come, I would say Avengers go back. Why would Avengers come? Yeah. Funny. Okay. But you could put in. Oh man, I see Hybrid Hustle being a DC fan. Maybe. Okay. Avengers attack. Nice. Avengers assemble together. Avengers Endgame. Okay. 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 And I don't want to get into fan wars here. Last sentence. May the force. May the force. Yes. 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 This one should be easy though. Be with you. Okay, of art begin. Okay, what about others? Will reduce friction. Okay, uh, take you over. Avengers are heroes. Avengers eat. Richa seems to be hungry. Okay, be with you. Will be strong. Are heroes. Okay, may the force like iron. Come on, people. Okay, cool. So what we just did, we basically, like, so let's do the last sentence, right? And then I'll explain what we just did. So the last sentence is, why so serious, emotional, sad. Okay, why so hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. I will be thirsty in some time. Okay, why so confused? Sleepy, upset? No. So let me give you some references. Now you tell me why so. I can literally hear this, right? Why so serious, right? Yeah. So if you look at what we did inside our brains in just like 5 minutes, when I told you that I'm going to present you a sentence and you got to tell me what that sentence is going to look like in completion, your brain went into this, kind of going back and understanding, what exactly the sentence could be. And for all these movie freaks, they were like, hey, I know this movie. Okay. I know this dialogue. I can go ahead and I can kind of complete this. Or you thought about, oh, I have seen this meme, maybe somewhere, maybe on Instagram, maybe on Twitter, maybe it's called X, maybe, somewhere. So I've seen all of these information which you have gathered and you have went back into your own database, into your own embeddings, like all the data which you collected, and you came back with these answers. So what you just did was you became a generative AI model. Yes, you did an algorithm which we call next word prediction. So how is this related to generative AI? Generative AI in its entirety does not understand what you say, cannot comprehend what you say. But what it can do is it can generate the next word in the sequence. So if I say, how are you? It can say, I am fine. Not because it understands that you're asking, how are you? But because it can understand the context behind this word and the sentence and can generate the next word in the sequence. Take any model into this world and all of them operate on the same principle of next word prediction. Obviously, some algorithms are more powerful and they bring in a lot more systems we'll talk about. But at the core, if you don't understand anything from this session, the only thing you need to understand is that generative AI models follow a principle of next word prediction. And they go ahead and they predict the next word in the sequence without having any real understanding of how these words work or understanding their meaning. Okay, so yeah, that's how things happen with generative AI model. By the way, I'm looking at this chat, and it's fun. Actually, you all should look at it as well. Okay, nice. I see others are getting their own generative AI models and predicting some next words in the chat. Okay, um, so we come back to understanding what is an LLM. Can you tell us what is an LLM? No, facts overload. I can't read the chat for you. I have a lesson to teach. Okay. What is an LLM? Come on, be quick. It's easy. LLM, large language model. Now, a lot of these times you will understand or you will hear about LLMs, that LLMs enable you to, do a lot of things. So in very simple language, large language model is basically the result of you training and building the next word prediction model. Okay. So large language model basically represent that. Now, how do you get a large language model? Very simple. If you have $100 million, Give it to me. No, don't give it to me. Go give it to NVIDIA. And then NVIDIA will give you what? They'll give you servers? No. GPUs? Yes. So they'll give you GPUs. Now you got these GPUs. What can you do with these GPUs? Mine some Bitcoin? No. Okay. So what are we going to do with these GPUs? We are going to train our AI model on this. But do we have the data? Not really. Where are we going to get the data from? The internet. Why? Because it's unguarded. I can go to any website. I can scrape everything off it, right? Don't tell OpenAI I did that. Okay. So OpenAI, for example, they got a set of GPUs. They went to internet. They got all of this data. Now they needed what? They needed an algorithm. So now this algorithm, let's say we pick up transformers, and they trained this algorithm on top of this hardware with all of this data. What they get in return is a large language model. Very, very simple. Make sense? Aryan says, gift me a GPU. Okay. Um, nice. If you can train an LLM on top of it, I will. Okay. So in very simple terms, large language model is an advanced AI system trained on massive amount of text to understand and generate human-like language. It is super smart, but it is jack of all trade and masters of none because it is trained on the internet. So means internet has good things, bad things, humans, books, code, all of these data. So it can train on all of these, right? At the end of the day, if you look at LLM, it's a big brain AI, which is jack of all trade, master of none. If it is not trained on a particular, obviously, data set, then that's a different story. But yeah, it is multitasking pro. It can summarize, translate, debug, do everything for you. But it also comes with a risk because LLMs are trained on all of this data. Then it comes with biases. For example, if it is trained on all of data, in US, then it might come with biases from US. Or it is trained in China, so it will come with biases in China. I'll give you example for both of these models, but you know the drill. Now, SLMs are small large language model, SLM, or you can say SLMs. And SLMs are basically getting much, much more popular because they are small in size and they are master of one thing, but they can't do everything, right? We'll talk about, like SLMs a little bit more when we're talking about pieces. But yeah, that's the context about an LLM. Now, you'll also see a rise of a lot of reasoning models, if you may. So there is there are models which actually, kind of go beyond saying that, okay, I don't just answer, but I can help you envision how it looks like, right? So here you can sort of go ahead and say that, okay, explain us how you came up with that answer. And it, kind of looks like the model is thinking, but it is thinking. Let's find out. So with when you go ahead and when you kind of look at the reasoning models have multiple stages. So for example, the stage one will generate, okay, what is the sentence the user is asking about, will generate some content, but then stage two will verify that content and try the model to, make it think in much more deeper level. So whenever we say reasoning model, it means that the model has more time. So for example, if I gave you the sentences and I told you that, hey, go ahead and look at these sentences, but you don't have to answer me right now. You can answer me tomorrow. Will you be able to find the answers? Absolutely, because you have so much information now. You have access to internet. You have access to one full day to kind of think about the answers and so on and so forth. So, you can understand reasoning models in a very, very similar way. Cool. So if I have to give you an example of a reasoning model, let's say I want to travel from Mumbai to, okay, let's say SFO, my favorite place. Okay. So from Mumbai to SFO, San Francisco. So how can I travel from Mumbai to San Francisco? I can go ahead and ask a reasoning model that, hey, please help me, go to San Francisco. Okay. Is there an airport in Mumbai? Is there an airport in San Francisco? Yes. Okay. So can I take a direct flight from Mumbai to San Francisco? Maybe. What is the date I'm traveling on? Okay. On that date, is the seats available? Okay. Is it available? Is it affordable? Okay. It is affordable. Okay. But is the time matching? Should I land in SFO in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m.? No, obviously not. Okay. So should I, so which airline should I fly? Should I fly, Indigo? Should I fly Air India? Should I fly, American Airlines, and so on and so forth? So as you can see that when you start saying point A to point B, a lot of logical reasoning needs to be highlighted and verified. Because let's say if I want to fly from Mumbai to SFO and there's no airport in SFO, then what will happen? Can I fly? No, not really. So yes, a lot of these factors, kind of come into play when I'm deciding, of how all of these things are going to fit in. And the reasoning models enable this very effectively by inducing a mechanism, of let's say, learning, like creating different stages, and then making each stage kind of think, give them more time, and so on and so forth. Cool. So what are the downsides of LLMs? Again, LLMs are amazing, but they are stupid. They can't understand what the real meaning of the word is. Though they can kind of make out some things, they can predict the next word in the sequence, but they really can't have a real understanding of what is happening. You can make a model think using reasoning techniques, but again, it's a model. It's not intelligent being, which means it can generate all the data available in this world, but still, you know, LLMs are not smart. Same happens with any other AI component right now. They are not smart in any real sense. If they were, we would actually be very near to AGI, but they are not. And as Satya says, AGI or AGI, everyone is shouting AGI, but he says adding 10% to the economy would be a real deal than creating AGI, right? So yeah, remember, LLMs, very simple, amazing creatures, a lot of data, a lot of GPUs, train it, gets a model is amazing. You can induce a reasoning mechanism into this model by giving it more time and introducing new algorithms. Though LLMs are amazing, they are not smart, they are not reliable, they can generate false information. So yeah, that is something which you need to keep in mind. Now we talked a little bit about SLMs. SLMs are small large language model. SLMs are amazing. They are small in size. They walk like a charm, but they are not do everything model. They are specialized in one thing which they are trained on. For example, if you're going to use 5.4 mini or 3.5 mini or 5.4, the series of models, all of these models are really good at logical reasoning and math, but they are not really good at translation. They can do translation, but they are not good at doing translation. So LLMs, on the other hand, are universal because they are trained on such large corpus of data, they can literally do anything and everything. And then there is a teacher and a student kind of an approach where you train an LLM, which is super smart, and then you train, a smaller model of this LLM, which can, which the LLM can teach to. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Nice. Now, introducing pieces for developers. What is pieces for developers? We are not an LLM, just to clear that out. Pieces for developers is, a company which enables you to bring long-term memory for your whole developer workflow. We specialize in multi-LLM approach, which means you can use LLMs of your favorite choice. You can use Google Gemini models. You can use ChatGPT models. You can use Anthropic models. You can use all the state of the models which are available out there as an API within the pieces ecosystem for absolutely free, and all of the pro models for absolutely free. Okay. So yeah, that's about pieces as one part of the product. Now the second part of the product is pieces allows you to use on-device models. What are on-device models? So as I mentioned about earlier that LLMs are amazing, but one thing which sucks about LLMs is that they are not private, meaning that if you are chatting with OpenAI on their website, on their UI, you might actually be sharing a lot of sensitive information. No, absolutely. Same with other LLMs that when you are going to go ahead and you're going to chat with a lot of these LLMs directly on their websites, they are going to collect a lot of your prompt data, a lot of your responses and so on and so forth. Though they say that they are not going to collect data from APIs, that's why we have integrated all of them via APIs so you can use them for absolutely, without fear. But if you are working on something which is very private, then in that case, how can you kind of go ahead and kind of work with an LLM which is absolutely private. In pieces, we work with Olama to enable you to use models like Llama 3, 3 billion on your device, or use Mistral models on your device, or use Quen models on your device, which means you can run an LLM on your device for absolutely free, which means you don't have to pay for monthly subscription, and your data is absolutely on your device, doesn't leave your device. So that's the second part of what Pieces enables you to do. And then the third part is Pieces creates a memory for you, which you can retrieve later. For example, as a child, I remember a lot of things. How I was playing one day, how I was beaten one day, or how I was participating in an elocution competition, and so on and so forth. So as a human, we have this long-term memory with us, which means we can go ahead and we can kind of remember pieces of this information. And with Pieces for developers, we enable that for your system, meaning that you can go ahead and you can search about a website, you can work on a particular application. What we will do is we will capture all of this information completely on device, use SLMs, which is small large language models, which run on your device, and classify this information, create an embedding, and store it on a local database, which you can then retrieve later using your favorite LLMs. It can be completely on device. Yeah. Now, few questions in the chat. Okay. Is Pieces free? Absolutely. Why do we not have a subscription model? Because we are a pre-revenue startup. We don't need to generate revenue as of now, but obviously we'll generate in some time later on. How do we make money? Do we sell your data? Absolutely not. All the long-term memory data remains on your system. We don't even look at it. We don't have ability to look at it because it is a local database, so stays on your system. Okay. So remember, long-term memory completely works on device with local language, which with local LLMs, you can be absolutely sure that no one is looking at your data because it just doesn't go anywhere. But if you're using online LLMs, we have implemented all of them using APIs, and a lot of companies say they don't use all of the data which comes via APIs because obviously it's a business. So they have spent millions and billions of dollars on GPUs and they would want to get some money back. So obviously they are not going to look at your data via API. And that's why Pieces becomes your favorite choice to kind of work around this multi-LLM approach. And I'll be like, okay, um, how does Pieces make money out of it, or how does Pieces benefits out of it? For us, we try to sell or position a product not for individuals but for companies. For example, if you are a hardware company, you would like how Pieces can store all of this information. If you are like a large corporation, you can see how Pieces can benefit you with the retention of long-term memory and so on and so forth. So that's our business model. We will introduce some premium tiers probably later on where you can get enhanced access to these APIs. But right now, everything is for absolutely free, so you can enjoy using Pieces on your devices. Now, did I tell you that you don't have to just work with Pieces? You can kind of go ahead and use it in VS Code. You can go ahead and use it in JetBrains. So there are plugins available and everywhere, so you can use it across all your workflows and not just on Pieces Studio. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the hands-on workshop. I guess you'll have like this URL available pinned. But yeah, go to this URL and open this doc for me quickly. Nice. Hydra says I'm unable to install it. If you're unable to install it due to some errors, I have given a form right here. Please fill out this form for me so that I can get back to you and say, which one, like what installation you're doing. Okay, if you're unable to install it and it gives you constant error, please fill out this form for me. It's very important so that I can kind of go ahead and share it with my team and then they can get back to you with the solution. Okay, so yeah, just make sure you are doing that. No, this is 1 day session, folks. So stay till the very end. We are going to do it for 1.5 hours. So we have almost half an hour is available. We started at 6:30, it's 7:30. We have 30 minutes available, and that's what we are going to do the hands-on part. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, perfecto. Now I want you to all to come for follow the steps for hands-on on this particular item. So you can scroll all the way down. Step number one, I guess most of you have done. Then you go all the way down to step number two, which you're doing it right now. And then we go to step number three, which is to claim your certificate, right? So let's go ahead and complete step number three. Oh, yes. So there are two items, as I mentioned. We use a small large language model, which works completely on device with a local server for storing your long-term memory data. So yeah, that is what Pieces OS is all about. And then Pieces for Developers as a studio is something where you are going to walk around with, right? Cool. Now, step number two is to follow the instructions which is given here. So follow along the GitHub instructions. So let's click on this GitHub link and open that up quickly. Now, if it is still installing for you, don't worry. You can kind of go ahead and you can, try to install it, like later on. Just look at what I'm doing right now. You can complete, the project later on as well. Okay. So yeah, please open this GitHub page for me real quickly, everyone. Nice. Okay, so let's see. Give me a thumbs up in the chat, please. Once you're here on the GitHub page. Now, how many of you have a GitHub account already? If yes, give me a thumbs up in the chat as well. So I'm going to show you two parts. Ravi, you don't have to write thumbs up. You can give me the thumbs up emoji. Okay. But I get where you're coming from. So I'm hoping that a lot of you do have GitHub installed. Am I right? Not, sorry, GitHub installed, I'm saying. I mean, you all have GitHub accounts as well. I'm not sure on how it works. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, cool. So let me quickly share my whole screen because that is much better. Let me put the chat down so that I can still look at the chat. Okay, let me quickly share my whole screen. Okay, now hopefully you're able to see my complete screen. Let me quickly start pieces and it would look something like this. Let me quickly go to the onboarding and show you how pieces actually looks like. Okay. Let me pull this down. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to fit the chat somewhere, but I'm not sure where the chat is gone. Okay, the chat is here. Nice. Okay, let me put the chat here. Hey, folks, we have 30 more minutes. Don't worry, we don't need to rush the session. Okay, so welcome to Pieces for Developers. You will see a window like this once you kind of complete the installation. I hope you all were able to see the screen. Now here you can click on Get Started, and you can kind of add your details. For example, if you're a software engineer, select that, years of experience, all the tech you are working around, the languages you code in, and we are going to select AI Copilot right now because that's what we are going to work with. Then we go to ML and processing. And here you can see there's, default processing is basically where, it uses like a blend of local and cloud models. So if you are working on something sensitive, you can select local. But if your machine is not powerful, I highly recommend that you select cloud. Totally depends on the kind of machine you have, or you can select blended and it will operate on that context. I usually select blended because that's the between of local and cloud. Then material enrichment, you can keep it as it is. Then you can see default LLM. You can see there are a lot more LLM from Claude, GPT, and Gemini. You can select your favorite one. I usually love GPT 4.0, which is a premium model, which is available for absolutely free. And then you can play around with long-term memory. As you can see, I've activated it. I'll show you a demo of it later on, but that's totally optional, up to you. We are not going to use long-term memory in this workshop. Now you can go to cloud and account setup. Here you can sign up with Google or with GitHub, or you can sign up with email. Now, why is signing up important? Number one reason, rate limiting. Now, earlier we used to allow people, and still we allow people to use pieces without signing up. But right now, because of a lot of users and a lot of attacks, we have enabled sign in, like rate limiting for people who have not signed up. So yeah, if you don't want to be rate limited, please sign up quickly, and then you can click on finish onboarding. Nice. Now, if you're able to finish onboarding, you will see something like this where you can chat with pieces. You can go ahead and do a lot more things. Now, on the left hand side, I will zoom this in. You will see something like this, which is like the model. You can click on it, and we can kind of go ahead and like understand what models we can use, right? So there are a lot more models here. Now, one more thing about LLMs is that LLMs itself, you can see, comes in different shapes and size. For example, I talked about LLMs earlier, and you can see that, for example, GPT 4.0 comes with a 128K token context window. 4.0 comes with, again, the same context window. Then comes GPT 3.5, which comes with only 4K token context window. Claude 3.5 is 40K token context window, which is like a lot more, right? Sonnet is also 40K. And then if you go down a little, Gemini 2 Flash, which basically comes with a lot more bigger context window, right? So yeah, every model comes with a different size of context window. And that totally depends on how the model is trained and how much you can customize that particular model. So yeah, you can go ahead and you can play around and you can see which model works best for us. But remember, the bigger the context window, the better the model will be when you are working with a larger context. For example, Google 1.5 Flash, you can see it comes with 250K token, and context window, which is like a lot bigger than GPT-4o's, 128K context window. So yeah, once the context window is like completely filled, you will get gibberish, as a reply from the model. Now, you can also see on-device versions here. So you can click on on-device and you can download your favorite model via Ollama, and you can manage it within pieces. So here you can see there are a lot more models available. I personally like Llama 3, 8 billion, and Mistral 7 billion, which I actually use a lot. And obviously 5.4, which is like one of my favorite models, one of my favorite SLM models. And here you can see local models are very experimental. Remember, you need to have good amount of memory to use these local models. For example, let me show you an example, right? So I'll go to Llama 3, 8 billion, and I'll start a new chat, and I'll say, hey. Now, as soon as I say, hey, I can literally disconnect from the internet. I can still work, but I don't want to disconnect from the internet because obviously that will be crazy. I'll not be able to talk with you. But as you can see, it takes some time to load the model. But as soon as the model loads, it will basically be able to generate a response for me. Okay, for some reason, it is taking a lot more time than expected. But yeah, if you look at my CPU usage right now, you can see, it is taking a lot of memory and a lot of CPU because I'm using a local model. And the local model gets loaded, into the system, and then I can use it. For some reason, I guess it is not working, but I'll start, let's say, a new chat or reset the runtime, and it should be much better. Okay, let's try again. Let's say, hey, and it will work. So yeah, you can see that looks like I'm here to help with any coding related question. What's on your mind? Do you need assistance with specific problem or a project? This is completely running locally, actually. Okay. So yeah, you can walk around with these models, on-device models, which absolutely work on your local device. Now remember, Pieces comes with Pieces OS, which is like this. You will find it in the toolbar or right here, and you can see the long-term memory engine to turn it off, turn it on, and you can also see, a lot of more details available here. So yeah, if you want to explore that, you can explore that as well. Cool. Now come back to the task and let's try to finish the task, which we started earlier. Okay, my screen looks different, sir. Is it? What? How different does your screen look here? Is it like very different, or is it like different, different? I believe I'm the latest version of Pieces, so it should be like same for both of us. Oh yeah, this is the chatbot screen. You can click on the model and it will open the model window from the bottom. So if I zoom this in, this is the model window actually. You can click here, and once you click here, it will open the model window. And from there, you can select the model which you want to use. For example, in our workshop, I'm going to use GPT-4o. Oh yeah, that was a different UI. Yes, don't worry about that. Okay, so this is how it will look like, right? Now, as I mentioned, Pieces also works with plugins. So you can kind of go to, let's say, VS Code, and here you can kind of boot up Pieces, and you can kind of walk around with Pieces like this. So here you can see we have the Pieces plugin, available right here, which you can kind of go ahead and work with and bring all of your chat within VS Code as well. So it's not just like available as a tool, but it's also available as a plugin, and you can kind of literally walk around with it. And you can provide folder as like a complete context, like of your whole code base to it, and will create a local embedding which you can kind of use. So you don't have to provide this information that hey, I was doing this and all of that. It will actually create the context for you, which is very very helpful if you ask me. Okay. So what is the task we have to do? We have to create an app which is fun facts generator. And this app is going to help us to kind of build a very simple, web page where if you click a button, it will generate a random fact about something you like. Now you have to select something you like. For example, I like crocodiles. Do you like cats? If yes, go ahead and choose cats. If you like dogs, choose dogs. If you like Mars, choose Mars. You can select anything, an aquatic creature, a planet, space, NASA, anything which you love, right? And then we have to create some facts about it and then create a project where these facts will be displayed. Now, in this sequence, we are going to identify hallucinations, we are going to do prompt engineering, and so on and so forth. So now, the very first thing I'm going to do is start a new chat. In the chat, I'm going to write the very first prompt, and that is going to be generate 10 fun facts about crocodiles. Reply in JSON. So now I could basically give it an instruction that, okay, what I want you to do and how I want a response in. Now, the ability to talk to a model is called as prompt engineering. Now, prompt engineering can be done in many different ways. For example, you can kind of go ahead and give a system prompt, which makes the model think in a specific way, respond in a specific way. And then there are user prompts like this one, where we ask the model to generate, 10 fun facts about crocodiles and reply back in JSON, JavaScript object notation. So it replies back in key value pair, which we can further use to do something. Cool. So if you are good till here, give me a thumbs up in the chat and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, where's the chat? Let me find that. Hey, Aryan, what happened? Why are you not able to understand some things? Done, done. Exactly. So as I mentioned that you can use all of these models within Pieces for absolutely free. Plus, the long-term memory demo I'm going to show, it's going to blow your mind. So, stay for that. But you can enable long-term memory. And for example, let me show you, I'll show you like just after this exercise, I'll show you how long-term memory changes the whole game for you, right? So it creates like a, on-device context for you, which is really, really helpful when you're working with coding. Plus, you can provide your whole database as a context right here. So if you click on this particular button, that will basically open all of these ways you can add context to the conversation, like add folder, add snippets, add website, add messages, right? So let's go to step number two. Step number two is to go and click on this save to pieces button. Now that is going to generate a summary of this JSON and add some metadata to it and save it for us within our pieces drive so that we can retrieve it later and work with it, right? So once you click on save material, it will save it and you will be able to see this view material button. Okay. Now click on that and it will open something like this. And you can see it has the JSON and it also has captured context. So let's see what context it has captured. So if I scroll a little bit in, it says it has got some queries, some websites. Okay, reptiles, snakes, National Geographic, which is nice. So this is where it is getting the facts from. Perfect. And then it has tags like it is JSON, it's animal facts, nature facts, reptile facts. Okay, nice. And then there's an annotation, which is a structured collection of facts about crocodiles formatted in JSON using key value pairs. So as you can see, that once we save this, it generates a lot more metadata for us, which we can use later in our chats. Perfect. You can do a lot more things apart from creating an app though. Okay. So for others, what I did, I'll just show you once again. I went to give it a prompt, generate 10 fun facts about crocodiles and reply in JSON. It replied in JSON. I clicked on save item. Then I clicked on view material. And then I saw this, that it has generated all of these facts and it has generated a lot of context. Now I want to retain this context. So what can I do? Can you see the start Copilot chat button? I want you to click it. And that way it can set the chat context, which is like all of these key value pair available right there in your chat. So yeah, click on this and give me a thumbs up in the chat. Shlok, Olama enables you to work with local models on your device, which means you don't need internet after you have downloaded the model. Olama basically manages these models on your device. So if you go to pieces, you click on this model and you can click on device. You can see Olama is basically managing all of these models which are available. Via Olama, you can download a lot of on-device models and use it completely locally. Yes, you can see that for me, Olama is running on top, and here you can see Olama is running. So I can actually kind of go ahead and give it a query, but the Olama's UI is very, very generic, like a terminal. So you will not be able to kind of intuitively use it. With Pieces, Pieces brings Olama wherever you are. So let's say if you are on a plugin like VS Code, it will kind of get you Olama there and other places as well. So that's the whole idea. Cool. So I guess everyone clicked on this view material and started a new Copilot chat. Now, as soon as you start the new Copilot chat, you will see that the context is set. And here you can see that the context is set for crocodiles. Excuse me. Okay, so the context is set for crocodile facts here in the JSON format. And it presents, whatever. Okay, nice. Now what I want to do is I want to go back to the GitHub page and it says identify and correct hallucinations. We can see that the resources were right. So, there is very less amount of hallucinations in this. But if you see hallucinations, you can correct it. What are hallucinations? Hallucinations are something which LLMs creates out of thin air without any verification. It just creates it, right? And AI does that a lot. Okay. So yeah, you have to read these facts, make sure that there is no hallucinations within them. Nice. Now, step number 4 is to create an index page, a style page, and a script page where you can press a button and it will display these facts. So let's go ahead and write a prompt with me. Okay. Now, very quickly, look at the prompt I'm typing so that it's easier for you to type as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and type it together. So I'm going to say generate or help me generate a single page website which displays these facts on click of a button, right? Generate HTML, CSS, and JS files for me. Before generating code, present your plan of action and get OK from me. Do not generate code until you get OK from me. Okay, so here I'm telling the model to generate a single page website which displays these facts on a click of a button. Generate HTML, CSS, and JS files for me. Before generating the code, present your plan of action and get an OK from me. I will add one more item to this. Ask for any clarifying okay, I have to look down and type clarifying questions you might have. Okay, so I'm telling the model that, hey, help me generate this single page website, which will display this patch on a click of a button, generate HTML, CSS, and JS files for me. Before generating code, present your plan of action and get an OK from me. Ask for any clarifying questions you might have. Do not generate the code until you get an OK from me. Oh, you can use Shift Enter. Shift Enter will enable you to write multi-line, prompt. Okay, let's hit Enter. By the way, you are participating in the swag giveaway, right? I hope you are. If you're not, you can scroll down a little bit and you can read more about the social media challenge right here. Yeah, and participate in it. Okay. Yeah, you can see 8 March is the deadline. So yeah, make sure you're participating in the swag giveaway and summarizing whatever you're learning. Cool. Okay. So it has presented a plan of action that, hey, create a basic HTML page. The button will trigger a display of random facts from the list. Add basic styling. Okay. Style the button. Okay. JavaScript functionality. Write a JavaScript function to randomly select a fact. Okay. Attach an event listener. Good. Update the display area. Nice. Integration. HTML are integrated properly and functionality is testing. Perfect. Okay. Clarifying questions. Do you have any specific design or preferences or color schemes for the page? Oh, yeah, we do. Should the facts be displayed in any particular order or random selection is acceptable? I guess the random is acceptable. Would you like any additional features such as animations and transition? Yes, we want. So as you can see, this is more intuitive because else it will just generate the code and then we have to provide prompts that, hey, change this, change that. It is better to ask for a plan of action first than generating the code, part of prompt engineering. Okay. So now we can answer the clarifying question. One, yes, use green color for theme, or we can say crocodile green color for the theme, and use modern CSS style. Okay. Now, number two, yes, use animations. But we settle. We don't want, that it is rotating the fact, right? And three, select random facts from the list. Okay. Rest of the things are good. Okay. Now I have given it a more prompt after clarifying it. Now see, is it still generating the code? Not really. It is still waiting for me to give it okay. So now it can see that, okay, it has given some more experience, which is good. Okay. Okay. Generate the code for me. And now it will go ahead and generate the code for me. Okay. So I hope this sounds more better. Yes. By the way, I have few slides left about prompt engineering, which I'll cover a little bit, if I get some time. But overall, till the time it is getting generated, remember we talked about Copilot. It's like a Copilot which will help you to work with what you're doing. For example, Pieces is a Copilot. As you can see, we can kind of go ahead and work with it, select the best LLM we want to work with, and so on and so forth, right? And yeah, setting context is very important. Context varies from the models. As I mentioned earlier, every model has a different context window. We saw different models having different context window, and how you can set context using, like different mechanisms like PDF, folders, snippets, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, it got all the facts right. It got all the code right. Sounds all good. But do we need three different um, files if I want to deploy it like an HTML? Not really, right? So let's say we don't need three different files. Let's say combine the code into HTML, or I can say combine the CSS and JS code into HTML, into index.html. Let's be very specific, okay? So we are saying that combine the CSS and JS code into the index.html file itself. So that is going to be our last prompt, where we are going to combine all the code in one. Perfect. Go ahead and do that for me quickly. Nice. Code is generated. Now we are going to deploy it, and that will be the final step. Sounds good? Okay. Now if you're done till here, give me a thumbs up in the chat quickly. Okay, buddy, no problem. Hey Mayank, on the GitHub link, you can go here and you can look at all the instructions basically, and then follow along with them. We are going to go to step number 5 really soon. Okay, I see a lot of thumbs ups, which is nice. I see yeah. Okay. By the way, till the time everyone is doing, I'll show you the long-term memory example. So for example, if I go here and I ask it, hey, so I'm going to enable long-term memory here. So I'm going to enable long-term memory. And then I'm going to ask it, hey, what was the social media challenge about? And as you can see, it is a very generic question I'm asking it about. That what is the social media challenge about? And then it says that, hey, social media challenge is part of GenAI 101 event where participant can participate and they have to submit a challenge by 8 February, 3 p.m. And you can see this is the link. But I want the form. Can you share the submission form with me? So here I'm asking for a very specific detail from that page, that I want a submission form. And it gives me the long form to the Google link. Nice. Yeah, you can go ahead and complete it later. Actually, you can slow the speed as well, in YouTube, like you can do at your own pace. So you can see long-term memory is very useful. It can actually read in a lot of details on the application layer. And remember, all of this is completely local. It doesn't work on a server. It works completely local. The only thing on the server is the LLM. Now, if you select an on-device LLM, then nothing leaves your system, actually. Perfect. Now that you are here, the code is generated. Now I want you to click on this share button here. Click on this share button so that we get a link and we can claim our certificate. So you can see the copy link button is generated. We got the link. Now what we got to do? We got to fill out the form. Okay. So on the final code, please ensure that you are click on share link button. And then here, you can go here in the document. Let's reload this quickly. And in step number 3, you can see this form, submit your project and download certificate. Just open that form, enter your email, enter your name. If you like the session, rate it. Takeaways, you can fill it out later. And then you can share the repo and share the code link, right? The code link is mentioned here. So share the code link right here. You can fill out the code link here. And then you can kind of go ahead and share the repo URL as well. The repo URL is a GitHub URL, by the way, which we actually mentioned earlier. So yeah, GitHub URL is actually optional. I'm going to share about that a little bit later. But yeah, it's not required though. Actually, it is required here, but don't worry, it is not going to be required when you submit the form. Just make sure you refresh it. Okay. So yeah, you can fill in this detail, and then the GitHub part we will do it together. Okay. Error in sharing. Can you please fill out the form for me? Like the error form here, if you're getting any errors. Let me quickly share it in the chat. Where is the error form? For some reason, I'm not able to copy it, which is very weird. But here is the form. Go ahead and fill this out for me. Oh yeah, Let's Upgrade team has actually mentioned that. Okay, nice. So now this is the last part where we need the project repo. Don't submit the form yet because we need to submit the project as well. We have some special prize for the project winners. So yeah, don't forget to submit your projects. Now, how do I submit the project? Go to GitHub and we want to create a new repo. So create a new repo. This is the simple URL of how you're going to do it. github.com/new, and go ahead and create a new repo, named it GenAI 101 workshop or something like that, right? You can name it something like that. Give it a description that it is part of GenAI 101 workshop, make it public, add a README file. Make sure you're selecting add a README file, and then create a repo for me. So can you go ahead and quickly do that for me? Quickly. Hey Loki, you have to, if you are not able to generate the link, then in that case, you can also copy paste the code which you got here. So that is also fine. You can just copy paste the code and paste it there as well. Okay. So once you create the repository, hit on create and you are done. Now we need to just upload the code. Is it easy to upload the code actually? Yes. How easy? Click on add file, click on create a new file and name it index.html. And here you can paste the code. Where do you get the code from? You can get the code from pieces right here, copy it and paste it right here. So what we have done on GitHub, I'll show you once again. I'll just go back a little. We created a repo called as GenAI 101 workshop. Then we clicked on add a file button. We created a new file and then we named it index.html. Inside that, we pasted the code which we generated earlier. And then we click on commit changes and commit changes. So now the file has been committed. But can I deploy this? Absolutely. How? Click on settings, click on pages. So again, repeating, click on settings and then click on pages. And here we will see how to deploy this. Okay. Perfect. Rohit, you'll have to do it yourself. I'm not sharing the code. Okay. So you can deploy the website using GitHub Pages very simply. So you can go here and in the branch, select the main branch and click on save. Now it will take exactly 1 minute for it to generate a URL and it will be available on GitHub Pages itself. Okay. Make sense? Yes, just give it some time and it will be available at GitHub pages. So you'll be able to kind of see the URL getting deployed here. Just refresh this page a little and you will find the URL right here. And then you have to paste that URL as the repo URL and you're good. Floksha is done, which is so fast. My URL is still not generating. Hopefully it will generate in some time. Oh, it is generated now. I can click on visit site and see it is green color. Does it look good? Absolutely. So we got the URL as well. We can paste it here and fill out the form, hit submit, and we are done. That's the end of workshop. See, we are 1 minute early. Hopefully everyone is able to successfully do this. Okay, done. Perfecto. Now GitHub is optional. You don't have to do this on GitHub, but if you do it, that's absolutely fine. If you don't, that is also absolutely fine. Git URL. Oh yeah. So if you go to Git URL here, you can see this Git URL. You can copy it, or you can go to the settings. You can go to the pages, and here you can see the Git URL. You can just copy it like this, and then paste it on the Google form, and done. Yes, Risha, you can do it by the end of this week. By the end of this week, you can still claim the certificate. Perfect. So yeah, remember, obviously, whenever you are doing prompting, it's important to remember what you're asking for. For example, in this example, I'm asking it to generate a t-shirt design for me with a periodic table. It gives me this t-shirt design. Can I print it on a t-shirt? Absolutely not. So what do? I go ahead and say, I mean, I need t-shirt design or a t-shirt in the design. And it says, here is a t-shirt design again. Can I print it? Absolutely not. Okay. So it needs to be very specific of what exactly are you asking for, and then it will generate that design. Can I print it? Absolutely yes. Right. Another example, is obviously making prompt very easy. As you can see, I use the 4S method: single, specific, sort, and surround. Single prompt at a time. Be specific at what you are asking for. Keep it short and keep it surround. Give it more context. Right. So yeah, that's that. Thank you so much for being part of the workshop. Remember, LLMs are wrong in different ways. Some LLMs hallucinate. Some LLMs, brings their own bias. So every LLM is a wrong in a different way, and that can happen to a lot of you. So make sure you verify the outcomes before you go ahead and use it in your production level code base. But yeah, that's the end of it. Thank you so much once again for coming in for the workshop. If you have any question, this would be the right time to ask. Let me quickly stop sharing the screen, bring it up here, and yeah, make sure you're participating in the social media Strat challenge and you're participating in other challenges as well. Perfect. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Manohar. And thank you, everyone else, for coming in. I hope you really enjoyed the workshop. And I would love to have all of you get the certificate. So make sure you fill out the form, do the hands on. This is a live video, but it will stay here for some time. So you can come back and complete the hands on exercise later on after watching my video as well. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much once again, folks. I'll leave you here and bye bye. Have a great day ahead. Happy Monday.